Hello, everybody. Slightly Slanted Sleuth coming at you. Uh, Greg J will be joining us shortly. He's going to be a little late. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. But I figured I'd take you on a little trip down the Gematria Road if anybody wants me to run their name or something. We'll do a little bit of that, maybe. Hang on, bear with me. Yeah, at the last minute, he said he had a friend over and he needed. Oops. Sorry, hang on a second, guys. But yeah, hey, our Nuggets, what's up, buddy? Miles Tag, glad you guys are here. Jerry Runk, thanks for joining me. And Greg J is an excellent truther. He he's a big proponent of the electric universe. I think he likes Velikovsky's work. He likes. I think he pays attention to the Diehold Foundation. He's made a couple comments to me about Santos Bonacci. I think that's his name, right? And he's pretty much on the same page as me. He's stated to me that everything went to hell in a handbasket when JFK was offed, and he was our last real president. And I have to agree with that. I think the powers that want to be or whatever started right then. And it's kind of odd that the mob or whatever disappeared when the CIA came on the scene. Wouldn't you agree? Right now, I'm looking up Geomatrix or whatever it's called. Okay. But yeah, hey, got 10 people watching now. But yeah, my luck hasn't been great with the with the guests lately, so I apologize. I'm not going to start this one over though, so I'm just gonna, if he doesn't show up, he doesn't show up, but I believe he will. He gave me his word, so. Okay, here we are at Geomatrix. And I figured I'd enter, I think Brandy wanted me to enter her name. You have to cheat. What are you talking? Oh, you're talking about cards, Miles? If anybody has anything in chat they want me to enter into this thing, or Gematria calculator, I think this is her name. She asked me to do this, so I figured I'd do it right forthwith. So yeah, just to see what comes up. She says that her name means something funny. Morning Star, that is quite odd. Now these, if I'm not mistaken, are the numbers that correlate with your name. I gotta refresh my thing here. Oh, we got a lot more people than I got rid of. What's up? What's up, Trippin'? What's up, Robbie K55? Anagram, forget slime, Miles Tag. The Star Spangled Banner. Pleasure Candy, best one. What's up, MCF? Nice to see you here, honey. Yawanoa, what's up, buddy? Live Free, glad you're here. What's up, Gary Baxter? Sorry I didn't get to see you, bud. Had the boss with me. Yawanoa, what's up? Robbie K55, Fox, E Pluribus. These are these are things you want me to enter in there? Unix time. What's up, Goldie Girl? Hi, my name is Karina. Could you tell me anything? Tell you anything about what? I could tell you that I'm in a search for truth and the ultimate truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, truth. Brandy, no, Brandy, she's going to be here. I was just talking to her, and she's up in your neck of the woods, isn't she, Miles? Morningstar, please delete this. Okay, now what other suggestions did we have? Fox. What does Fox come up as? Unix time to gematria. Okay. You're on the north end. She's on the. Okay, hang on. Star Spangled Banner, but I'm going to see what this Fox means. It was a 3-letter word, so I entered it right away. Easy. If it only would move for me. Here we go with computer issues again. Turn some of these lights off. Can you guys see me? Oh, yeah. What my name means, I meant. Oh, yeah, I will. I'll enter it in a second. I sure will. And bear in mind, guys, I haven't messed with this much, so if you guys see me adrenochrome, Brad Pitt, doubt. Now I enter Fox. What do I do with that? What do I look at the numbers or what? Just look at the first correlations or what? Is that how you guys use this? Master of the Akashic Records, what my name means, I meant. Yep, okay, yes, I'll do that. And the Beast and the Antichrist. Okay, Unix time. What is Unix time, Cindy? Yeah, my name comes back as the first thing that correlates to it is the key to Shambhala. Jin, cipher key, ultimate fuel. What is that? What is ultimate fuel? Isn't that a planet? Or is that a moon of some sort? What is that? I am God. Yahweh Noah, I am God. Right. Obama is a total creeper. Nice. That one's pretty good. Okay. Hey, Miles, I just ran your, or Brandy, I just ran your name. Enter pessimist. Okay, will do. Still not over that, huh, Eric? I'm sorry, man. Pessimist. Am I spelling it right? Sorry, but I didn't really, did I spell it right? No, I spelled it with an E and it needs to be spelled with an I. I guess I got to learn how to spell before I can call anybody a pessimist, right? I've called myself worse things than pessimist, Eric, by the way. Call me what you will, just don't call me late for supper. That's all I ever say. Okay. Cry, click on Detroit, Mindy, Abraxas. Abraxas is a deep one. Deep State Gate. Death, Malkuth. The Death is the calmness in the center of the Sephirotic tree. That's pretty cool. Cool. What's up, Jerry Ronk? What's up, Runky Monkey? Brandy, is your middle name Lee? Is that what you wanted me to enter your whole name, Brandy Lee Robinson? Who else wanted me to run something here? What was it, Katie? Hang on, I'm gonna run Katie here. Where is that? What her name was? My name means I meant. Okay. I'll do the Star Spangled Banner next. Where is she? Karina. All right. Yes, Karina, I'll run your name right now. Did I spell it right? Karina. Yep. Okay. Here we go. But yeah, guys, I also wanted to address how a lot of people tend to think that I'm worshiping Phil or something. And, you know, I maybe sound like I am, but I consider him my mentor and whatever. You know, I'm not worshiping him, and nor do I put him anywhere higher than any of you guys, to be honest with you. I consider him a friend, but I consider him to have witnessed something that I haven't. And I'm looking for understanding by talking to him. And as with any information I've come across, I'm like a rabid dog on a bone, if you will. I like to go after that as much as as much as I can. Wow, Karina comes up in her own name. That's kind of odd, isn't it? Is that odd, guys, for your name to come up? You accept all slaves, huh? Robbie. Who's Robbie? Gematria is based on the Pythagorean number system, 1 to 9. Yeah, it correlates the letters to the numbers, correct? And which one should yeah, like Brandy has asked you. And watch Alpha Omega out of Evanville. He swears he's God. So which one do which language do we refer to? Hey, what's up, Deborah Tucker? I'm glad to see you here. Greg just texted me, said he's almost ready. So he'll be here shortly. And you know, if I've offended anybody by, you know, calling Phil my mentor, I don't know what to say to you, because I believe every one of you have helped me on my journey, and I appreciate every one of you guys. And that's the honest to God truth. Every single one of you guys I appreciate, because every one of you have contributed to my journey and my knowing and my knowledge of what I know so far. Sorry, I had to text him real quick. But yeah, you guys have all contributed to my journey, and I honestly thank you from the bottom of my heart, every one of you guys, for contributing to my journey. And you know, I mean that with all my heart. You know, because I love every one of you. But Karina, is that odd for her name to come up under her name? And what does this mean? Greg says he's putting his daughter to bed, so that's nothing special. Okay. Yeah, architect, you know all about this. You're the first one to turn me on to this thing, I think. You also don't owe anyone an explanation on what you do in your life. Well, yeah, I know I don't, but I mean, I just don't want to, and nor do I really care if anybody's offended, to be honest with you. But I'm not trying to be like that anymore. I'm trying to, do this in a diplomatic fashion so it doesn't turn anybody away. Is my point. I'm not kissing anybody's ass, nor will I ever kiss anybody's ass. I'm thanking those who have been on my journey with me, and I appreciate you all. Plain and simple. You know, I don't want the throne if nobody else is doing a good job, though. Offend away, my brother. I wasn't offended by what you said, Live Free. I was just, just making a point. I'm not starving for any throne, nor do I feel that Phil is. Okay, now I don't know if anybody's answered this question, but do we go by the Hebrew, the English, or doesn't it really matter? Okay, I'm going to put my name in here. Ah, shit. Shit. What did I do? I think I clicked on an ad. Yep. I hate this damn computer. What a joke. Okay, now I'm on screen again. All right, here we go. Oh, you dog. Sorry, guys. Yeah, but, oops. Who isn't a, how no, I am just packing my home up to move to Wales from South England. That's changed. Wow. I wish I could, I've always wanted to go to London or Wales or Europe. What's it like over there anyway? Is it rainy? Met a Jewish guy in there. He hated the Jesus. Well, don't most Jewish people not believe in Jesus? Right? Right here. I found this quite odd. Idam el Ahim Sabert Zer Ephraim means that's the last prayer in the key to Shambhala or the Emerald Tablets. It's the very last prayer at the end of the Emerald Tablets. My last name is Stone, and it's White Stone, a child of virtue, a gang stalk woman, great psychic ability. I'm a white buffalo. I don't know. I don't know if I should be laughing at that or what, but who else wanted me to run something? The Star Spangled Banner. But I see, people that are closest to me, am I putting spaces in there? Does it matter? Does it matter if I put spaces in? Right to left, 3 dots, top of screen. What do you mean? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Okay. It doesn't matter about the spaces? Okay. All right. Thanks, Miles. White buffalo to the Indian is a sign of the end times. Oh yeah, now I do remember that. The chosen messenger of the God, the name. What is that? Anti Epiphanies, March 16th. Oh, wow. Oh, by the way, happy St. Patrick's Day, people who celebrate that here. And the Jews have the red heifer, which was officially born. Yes, I've heard that. Okay, I'm still waiting on Greg. He'll be here any minute. I told him that I had promoted this everywhere, and I don't think he had this plan, but you the Omega, Steve? I don't know what I am. All I know is I'm a searcher for the truth, and I am on the case. Trice. That's what the Star Spangled Banner means too, Trice. I am on the case, and you guys, I hope, believe me on that, because that is the truth. And I believe that's why we are all here, is that we're searching for the indelible truth that has eluded us for how long now? Lucifer, Prince of the Air. Why does that have Lucifer, Prince of the Air? What is? I thought Lucifer was the light bearer. Anything else anybody wants me to? Of course, you heard it. I am typing it as loud as I possibly can. Right. What should we use? Number system all stems from Egypt. Well, maybe a bit before. Yes. I'm Irish Cherokee. I'm Irish, and thanks for calling me a fat ass buffalo. E pluribus, okay. E pluribus. What does e pluribus mean? What is that Latin for? What does that mean again? In God? Is that what that means? You're calling me a big bison. Thank you. What's up, bud? Well, you don't even have to do all that. You just go ahead and you skip that. I think you can skip that. You don't have to enter that. Yeah. And oh, yeah, you may have to. I didn't think you had to, but he's on the phone, guys. He's coming. So I'm just trying to. I'm. No big deal, man. It's all good. No big deal. It's all good. No, you don't have to feel like crap. It's all good. Shit happens. All right, brother. Okay, yeah, you're here. Okay, I see you. I'm letting you in right now. All right. All right. No, yeah, I haven't unmuted. I haven't unmuted you yet. So, all right, bye. Okay, guys. Greg has joined us. He's joined the party. What's up, Greg? We have the infamous Greg J joining us now. He's can you hear us, sir?
Yeah.
Great. Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you just fine.
I can see you. You got a nice chopper shirt on.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah,
okay, that's cool.
I'm in the stabbing cabin, my 1973 mini Winnebago.
Hey, that's cool. Yeah. Winnebagos, we're giving them away.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing's as old as me. Actually, about the same age, 46 years old now.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So that's where you do your streaming from?
Yeah, so I'm removed from the house and not distracted by the kids and the wife and getting in their way, and
man, I need one of those.
In the bathroom like I was on the road.
Okay. All right.
So how are you today, sir?
I'm doing really good. Yeah. Today's been a pretty active day, and I'm glad to be here.
Good. I'm glad you're here. And Greg J, if nobody is aware, he has a YouTube channel under his name. If anybody's interested, he's got plenty of awesome content over there. And his YouTube channel, like I said, is his same as his name there. It's Greg J. So, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What you think our state of our world is in and why it's in it. But I mean, I can guide you along there. But I mean, just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you got involved in the YouTube culture or the YouTube thing.
Well, I think I have my 14-year-old son to credit with that. He was doing his own little thing, and I said, we were having some talks about what do you want to do when you grow up? And he said, I want to be a YouTuber. And I went, oh, come on now. You need to have a career. You need to get your left brain high school diploma and then go to college, you know. And he said, you should do a YouTube show. So I started looking into it. And I've always been into cosmology and history and all the good stuff, you know. And I made a video, just got the software, just threw it together and put it up and just went from there, you know. I've always been interested in all this stuff, and I've always had my doubts about mainstream cosmology and you know, all the things that we get taught, you know, like Columbus discovered America and all that. I always knew there was a lot more to it, but I just didn't know what. Once I started digging into it, I started finding a lot of things wrong, you know.
Right.
And started listening to guys, you know, like Michael Sirion, David Icke, guys like that, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and some of them have some pretty pretty deep insight into, you know, what is steering our society. And what is your opinion of the mainstream media and the way they manipulate us nowadays?
It's ridiculous. I think, you know, a lot of things, I think one of the things I have to credit for this the most for me getting into this is me getting rid of my cable, because they just kept giving me these ridiculous bills. And I said, you know, I just can't take this no more. So I just decided to just get rid of it, you know. And they used to have Direct TV, I think. They used to be pretty decent, but then that started being $200 a month. And I said, I don't need this, you know. Then I got into YouTube and I started watching YouTube for everything, you know.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty common for anybody that gets into the YouTube thing, because
yeah,
you can find anything on there.
absolutely. And you know, you got to weed out the bad stuff, but it's not that hard.
Right. You got to have an
So what do
open
you?
mind, but you can't leave it on the floor, right?
No. What do you have to look at? You can't see me, right? I don't have a camera.
No, I can't see you right now.
Oh,
I've usually I could see people could see an emblem, like if I stop my video.
yeah. Oh, okay. So that's what people look at?
Usually, but right now I don't have that.
Okay.
I have names. I wonder if I go to speaker view, if it switches to your name. Now talk once.
Hello.
There's a
I don't
light.
know.
There's a
Is
light.
there
So do you see your name when you talk?
no, I don't. All I see is a
Yeah,
little
there it goes.
tiny
Now it's
yeah, you
switching
can
back and
see it?
forth. On
Well,
YouTube it is anyway.
is there any way I can give you something to look at? Or
Yeah,
I don't
if
want
you
to stare at a
instead
blank
of your
screen.
instead of your name, you can put a symbol or something if you
Oh,
want.
really? If I'd
Yep.
have known that, I'd have been ready.
No, that's all good.
Uh,
That's all good. Oh, and by the way, Greg is a virgin. He's never had his cherry popped, so to speak,
mm,
on the live stream videos thing. So,
yeah, this is the first for me. Yeah.
and that's awesome, man. I'm glad I'm the first one, because I really love your channel. I really love your style. I like the way you come across.
Oh,
Let me
thank
get
you.
the thing out of my mouth because I'm drooling on myself.
That's all right. I think we all do that every now and then.
Right, right.
Let me see. What can I come up with for a picture you look at? Could let you look at my cat. Well,
I'd say something, but it'd probably be inappropriate for the family programming we try to keep here. But yeah,
yeah.
well, I
Hold
appreciate your
on.
style, and that's why I asked you on here. And I think we see eye to eye on the whole JFK situation, and how our recent history has been steered in a manner that is not befitting of what we think America should be.
Absolutely. It's just, I think the world has gone mad.
Right. And I'm on that point. Do you think that it's reversible? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I do think it's reversible. I think that the more people we get to wake up to the truth, the better it's going to be. And eventually, we got to get this mainstream crap out of the way. In every way, shape, and form, they just manipulate the truth to their advantage. And the people that come along that know the real deal, they just get, blasted out of the way by the shills, and it just, you're right. It all started with JFK, and it's just been going downhill ever since.
On that note, what do you think is the biggest conspirators behind that whole plot? If you wanna comment on that.
Yeah, well, that's hard to say. They talk about the elite, and you could say that it's probably the Vatican. That's what I'm thinking.
Interesting.
I've listened to Santos. I like a lot of his stuff. It seems lately he's gone a little bit off the edge of the flat Earth, and that kind of really made me disappointed. But do you know the LaRoche Society at all? Are you familiar with LaRoche?
I clicked on a couple of his videos after you referred me to him, actually, and yeah, and how
Yeah.
it was before JFK that it was started. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And those guys are saying that it's all the Great Britain that's behind it, because it's always been the British that
Yep.
have
Yep.
been against America. But they might be owned by the Vatican. So when it comes down to it, I think it is probably the Vatican and the elite, the super rich.
Yes.
They want to keep us in the dark.
Do you know anything about the Akhenaten story and whatnot?
I've heard a lot about that in different ways. Now, Jim Mars was saying that Akhenaten was Moses, and it's really the Moses, like Tutmosis, and
Right. I don't
that.
think I don't think Moses was Akhenaten.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I mean. You hear
Yeah.
some of the things; it's hard to know what to believe. Was Akhenaten a good guy, or was he a bad guy? I'm still trying to make up my mind as to what he was. What
I
do you
think he's
think?
the progenitor to the Rothschilds, in my opinion.
Okay, so you say he's a bad guy.
Well, probably not too good for us anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always been something that I've been interested in. I just picked up Ages in Chaos with Velikovsky. I plan on doing a few chapters of that and hopefully get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's pretty deep stuff. He's
Yeah, it is.
yes, and you do an excellent job when you're doing videos on that sort of thing on the electric universe and whatnot. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? That's a topic you're pretty well studied in.
Yeah, that is something else. I've always been into astronomy and cosmology. I've had a telescope, of course, and just surfing one day on the internet, I come across a video of the electric universe with Wall Thornhill, and man, it's just like it just woke me up to the whole thing. And usually if there's something that's going on that's wrong in one area, you look into another area and that's wrong too. And, it just keeps going from there. And then if you talk to somebody, if you go down to like 7-Eleven and start talking to somebody, they'll think you're crazy, right? The more you know, the more like you look like an idiot. So you really can't say anything. And that's what's frustrating. You need to find people that you can talk to about the situation. Yeah, I definitely think our universe is controlled by electromagnetism. The whole thing with Einstein, I think, is contrived to hide the truth.
Hallelujah. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Gravity is not a force. Gravity is a byproduct of electromagnetism, of the magnetic force.
Absolutely. How did you find out about it?
Through Ken Wheeler.
Ken Wheeler.
Ken
Okay.
Wheeler, theoria hypothesis. He's a whip at he started his YouTube career started. He was married. His wife died of cancer, and he started studying in the Buddhist or the Buddhism and in the esoteric stuff and the
Mm-hmm.
symbolism of Egypt and all that. and it led him
Mhm.
to magnetism. And now he's always, you know, he can interpret Greek, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, he's you got to check him out, man. He's
I
awesome.
will.
You'll love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I will definitely. I'm always into finding something new, you know.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing.
But as far as the electric universe, so what do you think? Do you think our solar system? Hello?
Sorry, that was me. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you checked out on me. I thought you
No,
got.
no, no. That was I got these darn alerts, you know, they come in and if I turn them off, I get nothing. And if I turn them on, I get swamped. Okay. I get a lot of comments, you know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But
But
we how do you think do you think our solar system is on a flat plane, or do you think we spiral through space like what's his name, Nassim Haramein speaks of, and lots of other people? I don't know if that's what the guys at the electric or what is it, the Thunder, what is it, the Thunderbolt Project?
Thunderbirds, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, is that how they see it? That we spiral through space, or?
You know, that's a good question. I think they do see it. You mean, is our solar system static, like just sitting there, or are we whirling through space? Well, you
Like
know,
the planets travel at a, you know, a
yeah,
constant spiral behind the sun,
right,
like
yeah,
a
like
helix.
that one video of the sun dragging the planets behind it. I think
Correct.
it's a cool video, but uh, you know, that's really hard to say. I guess I still think we're moving through space, but my mind could be changed.
Right,
It's
right.
it's a good question. It's something I really don't know the answer to.
Very
I'm
well.
still thinking we're whirling.
Whirling about, yeah. And
Yeah,
I've always been perplexed on what is the dynamo at which, you know how when you get on a merry-go-round and you spin just a little bit, you get thrown off the MFR. So what is the dynamo that holds us to Earth if we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour and we're hurtling through space at 66,000 miles an hour and being dragged by the sun by 277,000 miles per
yeah.
second or something?
I know where you're coming from. I've thought about that a lot, you know, and I would say that Wall Thornhill says that we're held to Earth like iron filings, and we're being actually gravity is a pushing force and not a pulling force. And there's a video out there called the Saturn Hypothesis with Wayne Byrne. And I like it because I disagree with a few aspects of it, but I like it because he says that basically everything is pushing in, like the second law of thermodynamics,
Hmm.
and the feedback mechanism is mutual magnetic repulsion.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm still open on that. I really don't know what to think about that, but right now I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds pretty plausible. I've done some experiments with magnets under a table, you know, in
Hmm.
a spherical magnet on top of a
Hmm.
table, and spun it
Hmm.
around. And it's odd how that magnet will travel the same circumference and stay there as long as the momentum is kept.
Right,
You know,
right.
and
Yeah,
so, yeah, that makes a
yeah,
lot of sense.
yeah. And it's hard to say, really. You hear so many different things,
Hmm.
you know. And I think it's interesting that they did that Sloan Sky survey, and they calculated that we are sitting at about the middle of the universe, you know, because
Yeah,
you had the geocentrists and then you had the other guys that said, no, we're just some insignificant speck in some insignificant corner. But then this survey comes back with, we are indeed sitting in the middle of the universe. And that's kind of just, I don't know, you just get swayed back and forth all the time.
right.
You know,
And
I definitely think the world is round. I know that much, but
right.
who knows? You know, I mean, it's just crazy.
I got a couple of questions in chat for you. Have you ever
Sure.
looked into the black goo?
No, no.
No, no, Brandy hasn't looked into the black goo.
I'll
And
I'll check it out though.
oh yeah, I've never really looked into it. You know, I've been down so many rabbit holes and come up with the same question. Now what? You know, and it's
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that something?
yes,
You know,
you're always
you go in thinking one thing, but there are so many left turns. And you say, well, that makes sense. And then you, oh, well, that makes sense. And, well, that makes sense. And you don't know what to think anymore. I'll just say this: my mind and my ears and eyes are open. You know, and
right, right.
there was one Greek philosopher. I think we talked about it yesterday. I don't exactly know who it was, but I just use some Greek philosopher now, and it said, "I am intelligent enough to know that I know nothing."
Awesome. That's why I love you, man. You'll tell it like it is, and
Well, yeah,
that's
it's better
awesome.
than being wrong.
Right.
I
Me
like
too.
to investigate,
True.
but
Very true. Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, the fact of our reality now as we know it is being. Oh, did you ever get a chance to sun gaze today, like you were said you were going to try to do?
it was too cloudy this morning. I got up and it just couldn't see the sun. So you brought up a good point yesterday. You said that it's been really hazy and hard to see the sun. Not very many clear days, has there been?
No, not really.
Yeah, I noticed that too today. I went out there and I couldn't really see, so I gave it up. But took a nice long walk with my daughter, so it was good.
That's
Yeah.
always fun. How
Oh
old's your
yeah.
daughter?
Yeah. Well, she's 16 and she has Asperger's.
Okay.
So it's a gift, really. I think it's a blessing. Some people might look at it as an affliction, but I think people that are in that situation with children like that know that it's a blessing.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know quite a few people that have children that are autistic or with Asperger's,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I believe they're more connected to source or to the other, you know, on the other side of the veil than we are, and I think that's half the issue. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That
oh, they come from a higher heaven.
yes,
I really believe that. My daughter's filled with love. She
yes,
can't swear. She loves school. I mean, she just lives right. You know, if
that's beautiful.
everybody was like that, I think that it would be a much better world.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
And
I really do.
Brandy rings in. She left a she's a very a student of yours, by the way, Brandy Robinson. I
Oh,
don't know if you've ever seen her comments in your videos, but she always watches your stuff. She says she loves your stuff,
no,
and
hi. Thanks, Brandy. Thanks.
she says they spray at sunrise and sunset, and I would agree with that. You know, and
Yeah. What's
yeah,
that all about?
I think they're blocking the light, the actual information, because I believe that light is information. I believe that light is everything. You know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. We have been having a major awakening going on for those who are interested in waking up.
Right.
There are a lot of people that don't want to wake up, I think.
Phew. It's incredible how, like, I'll turn to my wife and I'll point out things to her and she'll, oh, that's pretty. You
Hmm.
know, it's like,
Hmm.
really? But
Many people would rather watch those shows where you take your head off to watch it. You don't have to have a brain to
yes,
enjoy it.
yes,
You know.
yes. And a lot of people are just, I think, plain scared of, change, period.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You got that right.
They're comfortable in
Yeah.
their little doldrum or whatever, you know, even if it's getting up and hating the job you're going to, they don't want to change. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, I know. It probably, like you said before, they're afraid. Yeah,
mhm.
they're afraid of change. Yeah, lately I've been watching Lloyd Pye. You know about Lloyd?
Oh yeah.
Boy, he sure had a interesting little spiel he did there about the Cro-Magnons and the how we don't fit, how we don't come from here.
Yes.
And I mean, he just hits the nail right on the head. As far as Nibiru and all that goes, I don't know so much I agree with that. But I think that as far as the anthropological approach that he's taken, it's right on the nose that we come from somewhere else. We're not native to this earth. I did the Ganymede hypothesis with Ted Holden, and I think Ted has a lot of things going for his hypothesis, but I don't think that we come from this solar system necessarily. And the one thing that I would say is the Dogon, they know those things that they didn't know, that there was no way they could have known. And I think that it might be possible that we come from Sirius because it's twice as big as the sun. It's a bright world. It would be a bright solar system. So it makes a lot of sense that we may come from there.
Oh no.
Are we still on? Okay.
Yeah,
And
you cut out for a second there, and you're talking about the Ganymede, and he
yeah,
has a
I
lot
say,
going for it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I think that we might, a good, sensible thing, that tribe, the Dogon,
Oh yeah, yeah.
they know all these things way before we did. So it's possible we could come from Sirius. Did you cut out? Hello? Okay, I just hear something. Can you hear me? I think we got a connection problem, Steve. This is interesting. You cut out. Are you there? I can't hear you. Hello?
Yep.
Okay, you can hear me?
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you, but I didn't for like the last minute. Your picture froze. Oh, I just lost you. Hello? Hello? Oh boy, I think we're out. Let me see. I was afraid of this. I lost you.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I got kicked out of my own live stream, dude. Hello?
Wow. Yeah. Are you there?
Okay, I'm online right now, honey. I'll let you go. I'll be right back. Okay.
Are you?
Sorry, bud.
Oh, that's okay, man. Yeah, I mean, I'd really like to see. First, I'd like to see the electric universe be brought into the schools. That would be really good for the
I would have
kids.
to agree with that.
There was a lady that made a comment in the last video I did about the electric universe. If you notice, a lot of the people that are in the audience and all that are older,
Yes.
because they're, when people that are older know enough to say, yeah, this is right. We need to get more younger people involved. I think that's a big problem because a lot of these people are ready to pass on, and they have such enriched brains. But we've got to get people that are at the high school age to get involved with this and bring it to the world,
And that's an uphill battle when you're dealing with money and curriculum that is funded through the MFers of the world, the money funders.
You better believe it. Yeah. And that's a pretty good analogy. Yeah. MFers.
Right.
Yeah, that has a double meaning.
Yes, it does. Definitely.
Yeah, what really bothers me is guys like Lloyd Pye, they all of a sudden just get cancer and die.
Yep.
And it's just too suspicious.
There's a
It
lot of
really
that
is.
going on.
They keep taking all these people out, man, and it's just terrible. I mean, what's the world coming to? We need more humanity in the human race.
This is true. This is true. And that's why we are doing what we're doing, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I think the number one, if I had to sum it all up to one word, it would be love. We need more love in the world.
Yes, you couldn't put
You,
it any more poignantly right there.
yeah. You said it the other day, with the last time when we talked on the phone, you said that they're trying to shut off the light coming in from the universe that's enlightening us. But you said something that was really important, that they want people to believe that this micronova is going to happen, and if enough people believe it, they could make it happen by believing it.
Hmm.
I really do think you can think it into existence.
I think that's what our existence is.
Absolutely. Yeah, magic is real.
Definitely.
Yeah,
100% real. 100%
yeah.
real.
And
And
that is what they're trying to keep from us.
yes, exactly. That and God itself, the creator. You know?
Right, right. Because the God of the Bible is too small.
Right. Well, in a way, I think the way we interpret the Bible is what got us into trouble, and what people, the human race, has done to the Bible. Because I believe that there's a lot of truth in the Bible. It's just we've
Oh yeah,
interpreted it and
right.
misunderstood it.
I guess I should put that a different way. It's the jealous guy, who's holding us over hell by a thread. That's the God I don't think is real, that the
Right.
churches want us to believe in.
Yep. The fear-inducing, dogmatic principle of
Exactly.
quote
Yeah.
unquote religion. Yeah.
God is love, man. That's what I mean. The best word ever is love. We just need more love.
On that note, do you believe that we all come from one energy? Do you think everything in our on our planet, in our existence, is from the one energy?
Wow. Man, you ask some tough questions. I came into this, I didn't know what to think. I wasn't prepared. You know,
Just tell me how you see it. If you don't have an answer, you don't have an answer. I mean, it's a hard question to answer.
it is. It is. It really is. I think that, yeah, we probably do come from the same energy. I think that reincarnation is real. And that's where I like Santos. He's got a clear, uh, his whole thing with astrology is just fascinating to no end. And esotericism or hermeticism. Now, what's the difference between hermeticism and esotericism?
Not really, nothing really. Esoteric is more of a broader, encompassing term, I believe, for the whole, or not religion, but the whole spiritual aspect of our existence, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Hermeticism is a more of an alchemical term, I think,
Okay. Okay.
like
Yeah.
a perceptual thing, how you look at things. You can look at it through many eyes, different perspectives. And I think that's where the human race has gotten into trouble, is that there's so many different perspectives from so many different cultures. Like you were touching on the Dogon earlier, and
Mm-hmm.
there's no coincidence there that their ritual for their mask ritual, when they renew their remembrance of where they come from, that whole,
Mm-hmm.
do this ritual every 72 years, you know
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's the span of one lifetime on earth, you know
Exactly. Yes. And I think that the information that they know, they couldn't possibly have known any other way but by the way they say. And like, I don't, that's right about when we got cut off. I think that we may come from Sirius physically, but spiritually, that, I mean, gosh, there's just so much to it. I really don't know. I wish I did. I guess that's what we all want to know, right?
Right, and that's that gentleman I brought up to you yesterday, Phil Langdon. He's
Yes.
he's the most astute in the enlightened realm that I've come to meet. You know, I've now considered him my mentor for about a month or so, month and a half. I mean,
Hmm.
he's told me some things that have resonated so highly with me that it's answered so many dumbfounding questions or confounding questions in my mind that I've had. Like, why is the cross so prevalent in our existence? Why is this shape right here, this shape everywhere? You
What
know,
shape is that?
on my shirt that the West Side
Oh,
Chunk.
yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at a blank screen, by the way.
Oh,
Uh, I wish I should have been more prepared, and I will if we ever do this again. I'll know what to expect, but
hey,
I came into it pretty cold. But what shape is that? That the cross that you had on your
yes,
shirt
sir.
there?
Yes, the same as the Templars cross or the cross. Period.
Yeah. Well, you got a few different explanations for that. The Electric Universe says that it is plasma formation that was seen in the sky. Santos claims that it is the ecliptic and the four horsemen. You know about that?
Yeah.
The solstices and the equinox,
Yep.
one going across, the other one going up and down.
Yep. The
Yeah, it
Galactic
is.
cross.
Yes, it is very prevalent in our society, isn't it? In our world, the cross.
Yeah, and Phil he came at me with the blood of the lamb, and he
Oh.
showed me a picture, the first picture I seen from him, and that's what the
Mhm.
cross is in the shape of, or the light we create with the seven hermetic principles. You know, that's the seven houses of the Lord are the same as the seven hermetic principles, is what he's told me. You know, or I've learned from him, and that's the
Okay.
creation loop. You know, and that light is exactly the same shape as the cross, and it's just crazy. I was like, whoa, really? That's why? Because that was the number one question I had. Why is the cross everywhere? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Yeah,
everywhere.
did you ever notice when you look at churches how prevalent the sun is and astrology is in all churches?
Oh yeah,
I mean, they have all this symbolism with the
yes,
round window and the 12 uh, little dividers and the circle in the middle, and then usually you see Jesus with the sun behind his head. Actually the Son of God, and this our he has risen from the dead. And the Egyptians, they always believed that when the sun went down, we were cold at night, and our first enemy actually was night, because it gets cold at night, and well, we wouldn't live very long if it wasn't for the sun, right?
right. And that's the
So
whole
when the
set.
sun rises, he has risen, you know. And I think that our religions today, even though it's based on Saturn worship, like by dressing in black and all the significance they have and the iconography of Saturn, but it's really basically sun worship without the people really knowing it. JC is not Jesus Christ, it's Julius Caesar.
Oh, that's how.
You know,
That's yeah. That's a good perspective. Yeah, because I
yeah.
think that's when our religion was really hijacked. Was when the Roman Catholics came on the scene and adopted Christianity, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Roman Empire really just turned their swords in for words, right? If you take S off of sword, you have word, and words can be swords.
Yes, they can.
So, yeah. So they could have probably ruled the world through fear and dogma instead of swords and armies.
And then you add bread and circus to that. You got yourself a coliseum and a bunch of dead gladiators and a bunch of hyped up, bloodthirsty patrons.
Right? Yeah, Caesar. Yeah, let them eat bread. Yeah, and exactly. Give them games and bread, and they'll be happy.
And that's
And
what
what do we
football is
have?
today.
Yeah, you got it, buddy. Sports.
Yep.
and food, and most of the people are all set, and,
Right.
except for the few of us that are awake that want to be spiritual because we know what's coming next and we want to be prepared.
Very good. That's exactly how I see it. And you know, the 12 of that you were speaking of in the in the symbology or symbolic references in on the churches, and like the Last
Mhm.
Supper painting
Yes, yeah,
that
it's
represents
astrology.
also the zodiac, and the center of that is Jesus, or the demiurge, or you know, the Lucifer, if you want to call him that, but that
Mhm.
because it's not a him.
Mhm.
But it's also, we have 12 cranial nerves in the top of our head, and our pineal gland is in the middle.
Yes. Ain't that something?
Yes, and that's
I
another
know.
thing Phil had shown me, and I went, "Wow, that's why," you know. And I was like, "Wow, the Last Supper painting," and that's another thing that resonated majorly with me and made me, because I doubted his what he was telling me, because I've never heard it anywhere except from him, you know. And
Yeah, yeah.
so it's like, whoa, you know. So yeah, he's put a
You know
lot of
what?
things together for me.
Well, that's good. I'm going to have to start watching him. I haven't checked him out yet, but I will when we get done. Another
Yes.
thing that I've been getting into is that, there was a lot that has gone on this earth more than they say has before we became conscious, as humans. There's the ancient giants and suppressed archaeology in the whole world that we just beginning to find out about, you know.
Right.
And
You're talking like
Santos,
the mound builders and stuff.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the Cro-Magnons, I don't think they went extinct personally, but the all the like the missing copper in Michigan is an example. There's just billions of tons or millions of tons, I guess I should say, of copper that was already taken out of these mines before we even really knew about it, right? And I mean, there was a whole world faring culture that existed at one time that we are not being told anything about.
They did a LiDAR study right around your place over there in Michigan and found a bunch of old copper mines, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yeah. And they have these some kind of tablets. They're made out of metal. I don't know a lot about it, but I know that they were discovered. And I've watched a guy named Fritz Zimmerman. He's on YouTube and he's got a video. It's really good. It's about ancient giants and suppressed archaeology. And of course, there's the other guys that have been doing it for a while. And who's the renegade archaeologist or forbidden archaeologist? Who's that guy?
You talking about
Michael
Graham
Cremo.
Hancock? Who?
Yeah, Hancock to a certain extent, but Michael Cremo, I think, more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And David Hatcher Childress. Those guys have got some good stuff, you know.
And I think what's his name? The guy in South Africa that's talking about the stone circles, and he built a museum there.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. What's his name? Oh,
I forget
jeez.
his name. Is it Tazarian? No, it's not
Tellinger.
Tazarian. Yeah,
Tellinger.
there you go, Tellinger. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Although there's
he's on
something
the
about
giant
him.
thing lately.
Yeah, there's something about him though that kind of says car salesman to me. So I'm a little leery of him,
I
right?
gotta agree with you there. I gotta
You
agree
get
with
that
you
vibe?
there.
Yeah. Don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're on the same page, brother.
Yes, definitely. And it's funny how you can innately just tell if you open your eyes to just reading somebody, you know, it's just weird.
I know. I know. Isn't that something? Yeah,
Yes.
we all get that. Like, I don't know how people like George Bush ever became president because I could see right through the guy from the start. But
He
like,
looked like
what's the alternative? You know, we don't
right.
really get much of an. I mean, that's the two best people that we could come up with in America. I
I
don't
think
think
that's
so.
just another aspect of the bread and circus, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Now,
And
do
I
you
believe that's
follow?
the whole distraction right now, is over they're trying to distract us from the weather. I mean, if you've turned on the news recently, you haven't really heard much about all the flooding going on everywhere in America, you know.
No, I know. And have you ever heard of a polar vortex before?
Not until this year.
Not until this year. Yeah, I never have either. What's that
Or a
all
land
about?
hurricane.
Yeah. And now, have you looked into the mud flood at all?
No, a little bit, a little bit. I just, there's so many rabbit holes that I've gone down. It's kind of hard to get me to go down a rabbit hole now because it's like,
I get you.
you
Yeah,
know,
I get you. Yeah, the same here. I've got, I don't know, I go down one and then another and then another and then another. And there's so many left turns that break your neck.
right, right, right,
It's like being on a roller coaster at Cedar Point.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It was at first, but it gets a little overwhelming when you start seeing what effect it's having on everybody and the confusion it causes.
It is. Yeah, it's disillusioning,
Yes, it is.
but
And
it's
I
better to
think
be
it's
disillusioned.
another tool in the toolbox for whoever is trying to steer our collective because as
Yeah. I was going to say it's better to be disillusioned than to live with an illusion.
very good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Very nice.
So, yeah. So I guess we soldier on, right? And
Right.
uh, and we try to come up with our own answers in our own way in our own time. When someone's not ready, that they won't accept it, but that seed will be planted, and if they have any interest in it at all, they'll eventually come back to it and discover it and go, oh, that's what it's all about. Because like I said, once you discover one thing, they fall like dominoes.
Right. And 1111 code in oops, I hid somebody's message and sorry 1111 code. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. Because I hit the message. I don't know. Well, you've never done a live stream, but I hit their message and I was going to read it. They say if it ain't written in stone, it ain't true. Emerald tablets must be true. Then, have you ever looked into the emerald tablets?
Well, I've heard them before. I've heard them read. Are you talking about the green emerald tablets from Thoth?
Yes, the one right here. I've got it in. I don't know if you can see the screen, but I've got it right in front of me, and it's pretty much my Bible. I've studied it inside and out, and I never really understood it until I met Phil, and now I understand it. It's weird, but you know, uh,
Yeah, I think they're righteous. I don't think there's anything evil about them at all.
right,
They try to say that's all evil. Well, that's the church's way of keeping people out of it. That's from the devil. Like the word occult, it just means hidden. It doesn't mean it's evil or black magic or anything like that. Of course, there are people that are into that, and that's unfortunate, but that's not us. We just want to find out all the hidden things so that we can know.
right, right. And what do you say to do you have an opinion on the cycles within a cycle or the Ezekiel's wheel or anything like that? I mean, do you have a perspective on that you could share, or haven't you really looked into that whole thing?
I haven't looked into it. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
I will.
I, was- I did. I was
Tell
just
me about it.
well, I'm I was looking at how about Geocosmic Rex or Randall Carlson? Have you looked into his stuff at all? He's a he's a guy that talks about he's been a self-taught archaeologist or geologist, and he talks about
Yeah,
the cycles of
yeah. I'm familiar with him, but usually when a guy clings to the mainstream narrative of anything, I usually just don't pay attention to him. And he
right,
still thinks that mainstream cosmology is real. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old, and the whole story. And that usually makes me go the other way because I know that's not true.
right. How old do you think the Earth is?
I think the Earth is no more than 10 million years old.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes you believe that?
Well, first of all, uh, I heard a point that really made a lot of sense to me. We got I think a ton, or is it? Yeah, I think it's 1 ton of space dust falls on the Earth per year. That might be, I can't remember the exact number, but we get so many tons of space dust that fall on the Earth just from space. If the Earth was 4.5 billion years old, that would be an awful lot of space dust that would, just to have accumulated on the Earth. And it doesn't really add up to that much. And plus, I really do think Saturn theory is real. I think that Saturn was our first star. When there was a war in the heavens with the planets. I think that happened within man's tenure on Earth. I think that then Jupiter took over. It was Jove and Jehovah. There's two gods in the Bible, right? There's Elohim, that is Saturn, and Jehovah was Jupiter. And then eventually the sun took it from both of us, and we just ended up fortunate, but Mars did not. There was a culture that lived on Mars that got wiped out. At least they might have gotten wiped out, but they could have gone underground too. That's still open for debate. But, we have all the dark-eyed creatures on the Earth. And that even the Neanderthals and the early hominids had the dark, the big eyes for the dark world. It wasn't until we showed up with our little eyes, I think us and dolphins really weren't suited for the dark world. And, if you're going to come from a planet and be native to it, you have to be suited for it. And that's why I don't think we came from Earth.
That's a very deep perspective, and I've never really thought about half of what you just said there, but it's pretty interesting. And
I like Mr. Pye's thesis, and you put it with Velikovsky's book Worlds in Collision, and you got a good fit. I mean, Worlds in Collision came out in 1950, right? It was banned by academia, and it maintains Saturn theory. He was the first one, but David Talbot really put it together. And the Earth and Mars were satellites of Saturn. So, and then you have all the ancient myth. I'm sorry for the noises. Those are my alerts. You have all the ancient myth that supports that. And, then you have the story of the Dogon that says our creators maybe came from Sirius. And, what do we say when someone does something that we don't think is normal? We say, "Are you serious?" Well, of course they spell it different, but there might be something there. Why is it so similar to the star Sirius?
Right.
You have to stop for a minute and think about that.
Yeah, there's many instances like we have soles on our feet, solar plexus, and the sun's called Sol. We have our solar system. I mean, it's just instances like that everywhere.
Yes.
It's like it's too much of a coincidence to be just coincidence. It's like it's a divine plan, or it's like the phi ratio and how our hand from our tip of our finger to our to our wrist is two of those fit from our elbow to our wrist. And the cubit, the royal Egyptian cubit, is from the tip of our finger to our elbow, and that's the same as the 1.1618. The equivalent to the royal cubit. The 1.1618. I think that's phi, right? The phi ratio, and then
I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just instances like that where the numbers of the Great Pyramid and those numbers. Do you have any insight into that? Have you ever looked into that?
The Great Pyramid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a couple of videos on it. Velikovsky thinks it was really just a shelter. I think it was a little deeper than that, but he does make his points. I like the power plant theory. I think there's a lot there. Just think now, the people that built that, just how we really don't explore how amazing that structure is. We couldn't build it today. So whoever it was that built that had a lot more knowledge than we do.
Yes.
That's why I think there was a culture on Earth that got wiped out.
The right knowledge.
Yes. And the Hyperborea story. Are you familiar? I've got a couple of Hyperborea videos. Have you checked them out?
That's the inner Earth.
No, that's the North Pole. You know, when we were in the polar alignment with Saturn, there was a few different phases it went through, and the North Pole was actually. I mean, they find they find fossils of dinosaurs in the North Pole. They find there used to be forests there. It used to be a lush like paradise.
And is that in
Because that
line with when the equator was at a different spot on the Earth?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know so much about that as I do that when we were in the polar alignment with Saturn, beneath Saturn, the North Pole was facing Saturn. So that would have been where the climate would have been the most lush. And then that's the Hyperborea, the giants from Hyperborea who lived in a state of total bliss, right? They lived in a state of love, and all the cultures were benevolent and the kings were pious, and the structure was pretty much anarchy. Well, most people think when they think of anarchy, they think, oh, well, roving bands of killers and, craziness. Well, maybe today it might be that way, but really what anarchy means is it doesn't mean no rules. It means no rulers. So there were no laws and taxes and all that. And there was a lot of food on the earth. It was on the hoof or on the vine. It was there. And then when the cataclysm happened, then, the world of plenty was reduced to a world of scarcity. And you had these survivors that were scared and hungry. And when you have to have resources, you have to do things like learn to lie and cheat and steal and kill. And I think that ever since that happened, we've been having resource wars. I think that's video Saturn theory from Wayne Byrne. That's the part I like the most about his theory was that he said survivors will eventually become bands that will eventually become tribes that will eventually become countries. And then the stage is set for resource wars because you've got to have resources in order to survive.
That fits our time we live in now, right to a T.
Yes, yeah, and we're still having them. I mean, we have this policy of war, right? But if me and my next door neighbor had a disagreement and I went over there and I shot him in the head, they'd throw me in prison. So I mean, they don't practice what they preach, do they?
No, they don't. That's one way of putting it, man. That's true.
Not that I would do that, but I'm just
Right.
saying,
Right.
they put us in prison for doing the things that they do.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, it's
Or
just
not
not right.
paying them to do so they can do it.
Right, right. Yeah,
That's my
and when
biggest qualm
somebody,
with it.
oh my God, and the more you find out, the more angry it makes you. Like, how could it have gotten to this?
Yes, and somebody just quoted, "Religion keeps the peace, but also creates wars." Also, you know,
Oh yeah, yeah. They keep us separated through race, religion, you know, you name it. Really, I mean, there's
anything.
just some. Yes, they keep us separate. That's what they want. See, divide and conquer. They know that we have power. We're very powerful. If we were to all get together and be on the same page, if they couldn't corrupt us, we would be an enormous power they would not be able to deal with. And they know
Hallelujah.
that.
Maybe that's why the Trump Pence are sounding now, huh?
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Trump
You've
Pence. I
heard that
don't like
before.
that Pence dude looks shady to me. You know.
I think they're all shady. I think it's.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know. I
Trump
know.
is just like Forrest Gump. He's just as stupid as a stupid does. Whatever. Because I voted for him. I was just so enamored by his message and this and that and this and that, and then all of a sudden they
Yeah.
Q thing comes on the scene, and they're going to drain this, they're going to do this. There's going to be indictments. I haven't seen nothing, you know.
Exactly. He gets in, and he's got his job, but then he finds out the wall that he's facing, and I mean, he needs more people on his side. It's like John Kennedy. He came in and he pissed off so many people that he didn't. I mean, look at what he did. He tried to stop the Fed by printing silver certificates. He had them mad at him. He had the oil companies mad at him because he was going to turn off their tax break. He was going to pull out of Vietnam. Well, that cost 60,000 American lives. That was, ended up being for nothing. I had two brothers that went. They came back completely different.
I had an uncle that came back just spent or twisted because of that place.
Oh yeah, it was awful to when you put a person. This is what I think. They play the whole, patriotism thing on people. But when you put a person in the Army or the military, and I have nothing but respect for those guys. My dad was a Marine, and both my brothers were in the military. But when you put a person in that, and then you send them off to a war, you drain that person of all of the love that they have in them because of the atrocities that they have seen, and the animalism that they have had to have been reduced to, killing another human being. It has to be awful.
It's just got to be awful. And then bullets
Yeah.
flying over your head, and then watching your friends die, and
yeah, and then come back, and then they just ignore you. My brother Jim was literally just turned loose on the streets of San Diego after he had just been back from Vietnam, where he had a rifle and was told to kill, right? And there's like, oh, well, thanks a lot, and these guys come back with all these mental problems and ailments, and they just turn them loose. They just say, you know what, they did their job. Now we're not going to help them. That's just sad.
Right. I think that Forrest Gump movie, Dan, the Sergeant Dan, or what is it? Yeah, was it Captain Dan or whatever? The guy with no legs.
Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah. I believe that whole depiction was spot on how I mean, that was pretty revealing right there, how that guy was, and it was a good movie in that aspect, I thought.
Oh, I like that part. You call this a storm?
Yeah,
this ain't no storm.
I've actually been in a situation like that where I was with a friend and he was that same way, man. And I was like, "Are you nuts, dude?"
I know. I've been caught in a couple storms out on the boat. I lost. I don't have my boat no more. I got married and had a kid, and those days are gone for me. And I had to sell it and get rid of it. But when I was out there, I got caught more than once, and it's scary.
Yeah, this last summer I got caught out on a boat and it was the situation I was just talking about. This guy was like, I seen lightning hit a pole, and I seen the lightning travel from the top of the pole to the bottom of the pole, back up, and then it cracked. It was weird, man. And then all of a sudden a tornado came through, and we were behind a bridge pillar, and if we wouldn't have been behind that bridge pillar, we would have been dead. It was insane. It was insane. We were on the Mississippi River. It was pretty crazy.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he was like, "I wanted to go through the storm."
I know. Yeah. Well, a little rainstorm is different than a thunderstorm with winds and the black sky and lightning and all that. That's pretty creepy. When you're out on the lake and you're in the middle of the lake, it's really scary.
Yeah, it was scary, but yeah.
Yeah.
To all the veterans out there that are listening, anybody, I totally respect anybody that is.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing but love for those guys. Yeah. They're the best. They went and they did their duty. I just don't like how they were done when they got back. That's what I don't like.
Well, a lot of military people are waking up now to the fact that they're fighting for things that they really weren't aware of.
No, yeah, I know. And that's young men, and they're doing their duty for their country, and they're honorable men, and women. And I think that we have a lot to thank them for. We still do live in the greatest country in the world, as flawed as it is, and a lot of it is to do with the brave men in uniform. I have nothing but respect for them. but I just don't like what they're put through. That makes me angry that they make our people go and do that.
Right, right. But,
Hmm.
but yeah, we've been going for an hour. Does anybody have any questions in the chat for Greg? And if not, will you join me again some other time, Greg? When we
Anytime
find the
you
time.
ask, buddy, this was a lot of fun. I'll be more prepared next time. I didn't know what to think, so I just came into it cold. But
Right.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, I love having you on. I love your perspective on things. And yeah, is there anything you want to plug, or I mean, are you selling
Um,
anything, or?
no, no, I'm not selling anything. I'm trying to sell the truth, but it's free. And we didn't get into UFOs, so yeah, we can do this again. We'll do another episode. I think that there's a lot to talk about that. There's got to be something there, man.
Oh
Got
yeah,
to be
definitely,
something there,
definitely.
but
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be
just
great.
getting into Velikovsky and want to get into some Carl Jung
Oh yeah,
and just keep my ears and eyes open and try to do what's right. If you do good, good will follow.
very good. I like to tell people love, peace, and chicken grease, whatever that entails.
Absolutely, yeah,
Right.
for
Hey
sure.
man.
It's been a blast. I've had a great time. It
Right.
whizzed by.
And people are in the chat saying that they love your voice, smooth and caramel. That's from Angel Fiery Petals. And
No, thank you, Angel.
and Joanne, where are we? Says I like that, selling the truth for free.
That's
Yes,
right. Yeah,
right. And I'm on board with that, brother. All right.
yeah. I've had a ball. Let's do it again. Maybe I'll do one with you.
Hey, that sounds excellent. Anytime, brother.
That's no. Okay.
Anytime.
All right. We'll set it up.
All right, bud. Yeah.
All right. All
Thank
right.
you
So you
very
want
much,
to?
sir. You have a
Oh,
good evening, and love, peace, and chicken grease, and all that entails to you, brother.
take care, man.
You too, bud. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Everybody in chat, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate all of you, and have a good evening. And thanks for all the great questions, and I'll see you again soon. Later on, guys.